Hey everybody, I'm Tim, and if I make one piece of content that you always remember, I hope this is it. You're watching Cigars Daily. I talk a lot about how the cigar industry is great and all the best parts of it, like the community and the flavor, and I'm always going on and on about the uniqueness of cigars, but there's one truly definitive way that this is very different than like a lot of other segments of the world, and something the world has really lost. And that's the fact that a lot of cigars are smoked by old guys. You come in, you do this, you light up a good cigar, you find some amazing flavor, you sit down in a lounge, and before you know it, you're talking to somebody 20 or 30 years your elder, especially if you're the age of the average person who starts smoking cigars, which is like around 27 years old. It's one of the rare places that puts you in the context of older people who have got actual life experience, that if you've got an ear to pull up a chair and listen, damn, you can learn a hell of a lot. And during my last almost 10 years in cigars now, that's exactly what I've done. Throughout the different cigar lounges where I've been a clerk and been a manager and even been an owner, I have met some of the coolest people with incredible stories. Like, I'll never forget one dude in a lounge who was actually a detective in Chicago. And my favorite part is he was not afraid to tell stories of the most gruesome cases that he solved. I listened to him for like 2 or 3 hours. It's an amazing thing when you hear about guys who will warn you about everything from money to women to what kind of car you're going to buy. They kind of have seen it all and experienced it all. And usually they're a little curmudgeon-y, but they're also filled with incredible life and unbelievable wisdom. And as sort of an unfortunate side effect of developing friendship with a lot of guys in the later stages of life is that from time to time, you lose them. Here at the Cigars Daily HQ, we had one amazing member of our family. His name was Doc. Now, Doc would come into the shop about once a week with his wife and sit and smoke cigars and BS in the lounge with the guys. He was fun to talk to. And as an added benefit of the many, many things Doc was, he was a great cigar roller. In fact, for this video, I'm rolling one of Doc's hand-rolled cigars. In fact, after I did my series on how to barrel age tobacco with my Billy's Barrel back here, I ended up giving all of that tobacco to Doc to roll cigars. As a weird side effect of having all that leaf, I couldn't actually sell it because it had never come into the country sort of in the way that retail tobacco should. So I gave it to him, and he made a lot of cigars out of that stuff. But he was an incredible guy, and I was unbelievably sad when he told me he had a really aggressive form of cancer and only had a few months to live. And that was really almost only a month ago. I got a call last Saturday from Doc's wife to tell me that he had just passed away the night before. And again, this was actually a little quicker than anyone had expected. And I got this really cool privilege to spend some time with Doc over the last few weeks, sort of trying to help him manage the details of the end of his life. And this is really what I want to tell you guys, especially if you're my age or younger. I'm only 38 years old. Sometimes it's easy to feel like the world is ahead of you, but the more time you spend in cigars, the more time you're going to spend realizing that life is ultra finite. In fact, you even hit an age where eventually everything you're doing to keep yourself alive is also killing you. It's a really bizarre thing. I worked with Doc to help him situate some of his end-of-life details so his wife didn't have to deal with a bunch of stuff in the end, and he is going to be donating his cigars to U.S. soldiers because Doc was a vet, and that's something that was really close to his heart. So we're going to be facilitating that deal going forward. But even now here at the Cigars Daily HQ, this is something that I get to talk about a lot with my partner Jim. He's 75 years old and he deals with this older guy stuff all the time. Thankfully, I believe I'm going to have Jim around for a while. I'm really grateful for it. But every day when I ask him, how's it going? He's like, well, I woke up. And that's like, wow, it's incredible to think that someday we're all of us going to be grateful just to wake up. And even then, only for a time. It's one thing that to me makes cigars that much more special, because every cigar that you light up is really just a moment. And if you do this smart, then you're sharing those moments with some good people or doing them with another hobby that means something really special to you. But one way or another, cigars, among all the things that they are and all the special things that they offer to your life, make each breathing moment just a little bit sweeter. I think it's incredibly easy to get into the habit and the temptation of bitching about the difficulties of life. And life is tough, but it's not as tough as it's gonna be. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. I see a lot of older guys who just getting older not only means that things are harder and you're in pain more of the time, but also there's this really weird season you go through where you can't do things that you used to be able to do. You can't run as fast or run at all. You can't lift the things you used to be able to lift. And I catch myself wanting to complain about things in my life that are frustrating or an issue. And I just remember, there's old timers who get up every day, deal with the aches and pains that I deal with momentarily and whine about them. And they go about their day and it's extremely badass. And at the same time, it's something that gives you a lot of perspective on how to look at your own situation and what you can be thankful for right now. Because ultimately, that's what we've got is right now. Someday, our right now will be old and achy. Hopefully, if we're lucky. But at least right now, things are good for us. And we can appreciate that. And that's what I want to get to with premium cigars. That's why I love lighting up every new cigar and just sinking my teeth into that flavor. There's something really good about it. And so there you have it. What I hope is a lot of life perspective in just a few minutes. And I'll simply ask you this. Drop a comment down below. And as cheesy and corny and Sunday schoolish as this is, what's one thing you're thankful for? Put it in the comments. Is it a cigar? Is it something you do with a cigar? Is it someone you get to smoke a cigar with? Drop that down below. I would love to hear what you guys are grateful for and what gives your life richness and color and joy. Whether it's a joy just for a moment or a great big joy that you carry with you all the time, all day long. And guys, I'm going to keep making videos here on the channel for as long as I'm healthy and able to do for, which thankfully seems like it will be a very long time from now. But I also want to encourage you in one other colossal and essential way. And this is a personal note. My life has been tremendously enriched by the wisdom that I have gleaned from older men. It's something I consider our culture to have lost in a tremendous way. It seems like these days old people are regarded as an obstacle, an obsolete obstacle to be worked around or worked through or worked over. Like people get frustrated with how crotchety old people get or how annoyed they get. But also we lose sight, I think, of in a lot of ways, the like I said, the incredible wealth of knowledge that a lot of older people have. It's like that saying, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. The old people literally are the history. That's literally what they are, the walking around living history. And so I try to glean as much these days from older guys as I can, whether it comes to buying a car or raising my kids. And yes, I know the world is changing in profound ways very, very quickly, but there are some things that are timeless truths. And there are people sitting around you that already know them. So find somebody who has something you want and ask them how to get it. That's how you get a good mentor. Or just listen to a story from an old timer in a cigar lounge. Maybe you'll find out something you didn't even know you had in common, or something that you stand to learn and gain just from spending time around somebody who eats dinner at 4:30 and thinks 9 o'clock is a ridiculous time to be out. Thank you all again for watching. This is Tim signing off for Cigars Daily, and I will see you in the comments.